Roadsports onto the grid, and every year for the last few years we've always made a point of telling you this is a series of races, not a championship, but that's not true anymore. It is a fully blown championship for the first time this season, the Tequila Roadsports Championship as it now is, with points paying and everything. It's great to have it, and it seems to have attracted people out. We had a huge long list of reserves at one point, but through various attrition I think we're down to just one reserve. Still not quite onto the grid, but a full grid of 40 cars we should have then for this opening race of the season for the Roadsports Championship. It's running 4 classes: the Super GT class for cars up to 300 brake horsepower per tonne, the GT class for cars up to 240 brake horsepower per tonne, Super Sport class where the brake is 180, and the Sport class for cars up to 145 brake horsepower per tonne. As Tom mentioned, it is a 45-minute race, and there is a pit stop. The pit open board will be shown after 15 minutes. Cars must be stationary for a maximum of 60 seconds during their pit stop, or a minimum of 60 seconds I should say, during their pit stop, but they can make a driver change if they do have more than one driver. They have to be at 50 miles an hour in the pit lane as well, of course, or 50 kilometres per hour I should say. And the pit close board will be shown after 30 minutes, so pit stop window is 15 to 30 minutes, and it's going to get hectic in this quite tight Croft pit lane. And it's the first race of the season, so as yet there's no drivers having to serve any kind of penalties in the pit stops or anything like that, but this should be great fun, shouldn't it, Kieran?
Yeah, absolutely, but it's going to be very, very different to what we've seen already so far. So obviously what we've seen so far are sprint races. This is most definitely not a sprint, because yes, okay, they've got to drive as fast as they can, but they've also got to preserve their tyres, they've got to preserve their cars and everything. Yeah. Don't forget, there's no refuelling, so they have to preserve their fuel. They have to make sure that what they're running is going to last the entire race, and it's a 45-minute race. Yes, okay, it's not very long, especially compared to even what we've got tomorrow with the Tequila Club Enduro Championship. But 45 minutes is still a long time for a race. These are very, very physical cars, and they're going to be exhausted by the time they get out of their stints. So it's going to be different, but exciting nonetheless.
So cars heading off on their green flag lap ahead of the start of this race. This is how the grid is going to line up. It's the 89 car on pole position. That is Scott Parkin of the Parkin twins. Next to him on the front of the grid is the 236 car, and that is the Honda Civic of Morgan Bailey. On the second row of the grid on the inside, it's another Parkin. This time it's the twin brother Bryden, number 6, and beside him is the 117 car, and that is going to be started by Ian Jones, the BMW. The third row of the grid, that's 221, which is Paul and Browse. Is the first of the Class B cars, an excellent qualifying performance from number 26, Mark Burton. On the fourth row of the grid, it's number 44, the car being started by Ben Williams, and 87, that car being driven by Louis Woodward. On the fifth row of the grid, it's number 10, that car being started by Rob Fennick. Next to him, the 19 car of Wayne Lawson. The sixth row is 1, that's going to be started by F. Simmons. Next to him is number 2, which is Daniel Jude. On the 7th row of the grid, it's number 8, the Ginetta, being started by Matthew Titmarsh, and the 188 car of Joe Williams. On the 8th row, it's 421, which is the Honda Civic Type R of John Monday. Next to him is number 34, which is Rob Boston. On the 9th row of the grid, it's number 40, Chris Morton. Next to him, 25, Paul Hinson. The 10th row is 56, which is James Birch. Next to him is the 60 car of Lynn Reynolds. The 11th row, 7, is the 2-driver car. That's being started by Jez Banks. Next to him is the 501 of Ben Walkinshaw. 12th row, 1, 2, 3 is the Clio, which belongs to Matt Creed. Next to him is 36, it is road going BMW Sam McKee. 13th row, 76 is Michael Downey, and 11 is the car of Simon Baker. The 14th row, 41 Andrew Cooper, and 666 is Sammy Bowler in the Mini. Then it's going to be the Macaulay and a bit more cars on row 15. The 16th row is Phillips and the Hammond and Hall car. Heathcote and Salisbury's are on the 17th row. The 18th row is the Adcocks and Chris Fantana. The 19th row is the 66 car, which is that of Johnson, and next to him is the 16th Sean Bucci, and then is the Henley and Taylor BB car, and the Hiley and Hiley Mazda on the 20th and final row of the grid. As the cars are out of the hairpin for the final time, coming towards the rolling start, and the lights go out and the race gets underway then. And it's the Parkin twins that are trying to get alongside immediately, but it's the Honda that makes a brilliant start. But even better than that is the 117 BMW, the Ian Jones car that I think has possibly got the lead of the race, the BMW Compact. It's very close one thing indeed between that and the Morgan Bailey Honda Civic as they turn their way through Hawthorne for the first time in this 45-minute race, multi-class endurance racing here at Croft Circuit. And a fantastic array of cars that we have. Is it still the BMW leading as they head through the Tower Corner? No, I don't think it is. I think it's the Honda Civic that has got ahead of Morgan Bailey. But a fantastic sight these cars make here as they head through Tower for the first time.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. It's just the variety of cars that we're seeing. I mean, we've got Minis, we've got Scirocco's, we've got Audi TTs, we've got BMWs, we've got TCRs, we've got Lotuses, we've got Ginettas. It's just, the list goes on and on and on. Now, at the start of the race there, we did see that Scott Parkin had a little bit of an issue start, I think. Ryan Parkin had a much better start. You see the number 2 Lotus coming around the outside there, but he didn't quite make too much of inroads. Yeah, we can see the Scott Parkin Audi TT followed by the Ryan Parkin Audi TT. That's going to get confusing until over the next 45 minutes. Going just nose and tail there. Yeah, Scott seemed to get a bit of an issue start. We've seen a lot of success from Scott in the past. He has done remarkably well in this category in the past couple of years. But yeah, just a bit of an issue start. He's got 2 cars in front of him. I don't imagine he's going to stand for that for very long.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. He's going to be, he's very competitive and he'll be right in the thick of the battle, I'm sure, before too much longer. Lots of people on the weather as well. It's a bit dark out there. We need to try and keep an eye on the weather as well to see if that's going to play a part during the course of this race. We've got the leading cars down at Tower Corner for the second time in this race. I think so far everybody has managed to behave themselves reasonably well. It was a 6-7 second gap for Morgan Bailey in the 236 car, the Honda Civic Type R, at the end of the first lap. As we're watching there, the little Elise, should say, come through. Quite a few of these Cupras on the grid as well. A couple of them just going through shot there, including the 188 car that's being driven by Joe Williams. So that's the South Cupra TCR. He running at the moment in 12th position.
Yes, absolutely. This is what I love to see, like just the sheer variety of cars that are fighting each other. I mean, there you go, RX-8 and a Scirocco. What other series would you see an RX-8 and a Scirocco racing together? It's just absolutely fantastic. And then a Porsche coming into it just to add a good measure as well. It's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we see actually towards the front there, I think Scott Parkin and Ryan Parkin are closing in on the 117 Gatsby Jones entry of the BMW. So I think that could be quite interesting. Yes, look how close Scott is now to that back of the BMW. And so yeah, that's quite close up at the front, as we can see. The cars. Oh, the 172 Clio,
which is that of Chris Heathcote. Looks like he's out of the race, unfortunately. The driver from Sidcup. He's pulled off on the side of the circuit. Getting back into the race now, though.
Yes, absolutely. So here we go. Here's that battle now we're seeing. So second place. So Bailey in the 236 Honda Civic has just started to pull a little bit away from the 117. Oh, it's somebody
it's the James Birch Corsa that's been off on the grass.
That's
it's rejoined. That was on the back straight.
Yes, in the midfield. We just saw it out of the commentary box. Anyway, back to this. Yes, so Scott Parkin, that's the one we're just talking about, the 56 Corsa. But yeah, so Scott Parkin in the 89 Audi TT is right on the back of that BMW now of the 117 Gatsby Jones, and I can't imagine it's going to be too much longer before he's mounting an attack. So on to the start-finish straight, they are nose to tail. He is right in the slipstream now. How much power has that Audi got against that BMW? Everlasting battle of Audi versus BMW. Maybe not quite in this configuration normally, but there we go, never mattered. So yeah, it actually looks like the BMW's got a little bit more straight line speed than the Audi.
It has. It is very quick in a straight line, that BMW. But I think the Audi is pretty effective around the corners, and it is the 89 car of Scott that is the closest to Ian Jones at the moment. in that car you've also got two drivers, and Ian Jones is the quicker of the two drivers there, so he needs to make as much hay as he can in the first part of the race before he hands over to Martin Gansby. You've got Bailey, of course, still leading though. He's stretched out to 1.5 seconds now over the rest of the field. Just saw him going through a shot there, and there's quite a gap, isn't there, from 4th to 5th, but that's no surprise because the 5th position is the Class B leader, which is Mark Burton. So he's ahead of many Class A cars. He's doing a great job. Class C is being led by Matt Creed in his Clio, the 1-2-3 car. And Class D, Pip Hammond in the Vauxhall Nova. He is ahead of the car that he is sharing today with Alex Hall. So Pip Hammond, 30th overall, leading Class D. Of course, points scored within each individual class within the Roadsports Championship.
Yes, absolutely. We just saw the couple of TCR cars, here we go, of Ian Williams and Browse. So the 44 and the 2-1 as the number 2 Jude's Lotus Elise is just trying to look away around that Seat Leon Cupra and TCR car. Just got the inside. No, not quite. That Cupra has just got the legs on the straight. So that Lotus, you know, very light, very nimble car is going to have to try and make a headway in the corners. But meanwhile, Burton just been overtaken by Williams in the TCR 44 entry as they both lap a Mazda 2. I couldn't see who that was.
Yeah, it's one of the cars in Class D.
Yeah. So this is what we can see opposite, because there's such disparity in the power between the front runners and some of the lower categories. Like if you look at Class A versus Class D, the difference is just incredible. So we are going to see this for the next 38 minutes. Like this is just going to be consistent. They're going to have to deal with traffic, and this is another element of endurance racing. That this particular category gives a fantastic representation of that, because it just means that the drivers learn to deal with the traffic really where they don't expect it, and it's such a big disparity as well between the cars and the racing. So it's really a bit of everything championship this is, and that's what's one of the amazing things about it.
Just looking down the time history, the top 15 all held their positions on the previous lap. The first driver changing was the order was the 4-2-1 on the Civic Type R. That of John Monday, so he was up to 16th at the expense of the number 40 car of Chris Morton. As we've now completed 5 laps of this race, watching that Daniel Jude Lotus chase after Mark Burton now, I think, yes, because Burton has been passed for 5th position by Williams, Ben Williams, and Mark Burton there is the number 26 car. He is our classic. He's just lost out to Daniel Jude as well, but again, not for class position. Jude in Class A, Burton in Class B in that number 26 car, the ex-Andrew Likestead and Imran Khan BMW 330 straight 6 engine for the 2018 low-cost champion, who's now running in 7th place.
Yes, absolutely. And it's worth mentioning that, yeah, Burton, although he's been overtaken by a couple of people at the moment, he is still about 5 seconds ahead of the second place person in his category, which is the number 87 of Woodwood. So, yeah, yes, okay, he's been overtaken in terms of on track, but he is still leading the category by, he's got a fair margin at the moment, and as long as he keeps going. Is that Mazda going slowly, or is it just the pace? It might.
I think that's just how fast it's going.
Yeah, it might just be a Mazda 2 thing. Never mind. Well, here we go. So, yeah, so Burton's got a pretty decent lead ahead. But, here we go. So, here's a battle that you don't see in any other category. Clio versus a Ginetta. What we love to see. So, the 1-2-3 Clio. So, we're currently looking at 19th and 20th place. That's Creed.
And that's also the battle for the lead in Class C as well. Matt Creed and the Ginetta being started by Jez Banks, the Ginetta G40 GT5 car, number 7 Jez Banks. This was a standard GT5, but it's been customised for endurance racing over the years. It's still running the Z-Tech engine, and that is the battle for the lead in Class C in 19th and 20th positions overall.
Yes.
Sorry?
I was just going to continue on, but yeah, so you know, these cars obviously they've got their advantages and disadvantages. The Ginetta obviously very, very nimble. I'd imagine the Clio's probably got a little bit more power if they're in the same category. So that's what we're going to see the difference of. So coming onto the start finish straight now, that is probably going to have the advantage, and then the Genetics going to close up in the corners. Now, I was just looking at the leaders as well as they went past our commentary box window, and Bailey obviously was completely gone. He's 3.5 seconds up the road. Parkin is now a second behind the 117 BMW, but they were literally weaving in and out of traffic down the back straight. And this is one of the things that they've got to deal with the entire way along. But Parkin, as in the second Parkin, as in Ryan Parkin, in the number 6, has actually got past Scott. So Scott is now down into 4th place, where Ryan takes 3rd place and currently also holds the fastest lap. So maybe a bit of inter-team politics going. I can't quite catch him, but you're a bit quicker. Have a go.
Lap record for these cars are 1:27.90. So best lap of the race, but we're underneath it already, aren't we? So that's two Parkin, Ryan Parkin, number 6, on 1:27.393. Need to watch out for Dan Jude. We're watching that low turn on. Reports that might be leaking fluid, so we should need to keep an eye on that. There is the 501. That is the Volkswagen Scirocco of Ben Walkinshaw, 23-year-old from Whitehaven. He's an engineer. Started racing 4 years ago. And this is an off for 2 cars. One of them is Louis Woodward there in the number 87 car. The other is the 221 car, which is the Paul and Luke Browse car. Now that is down at Clairvaux, the first corner, and they have come to blows. I think they were in 8th and 9th place, only separated by 0.3 of a second when they came over the line that time. But it looks like we've got those 2 cars in the gravel trap. I think we know what that might mean, and we've got the pit window only 3.5 minutes away. As Mark Burton there is trying to go past the Adcock BMW in Class D. Yeah, safety car is being called, so we've got confirmation of that on the timer screens and on the lighting panels all around the circuit as well. So safety car is being called with 2 cars off in the gravel trap at Clairvaux corner. That will need to be recovered. There's our Class D leader just going through shot, which is Pip Hammond. I think he's still a Class D leader. Just need to go onto the second page of our timing screen to confirm that, which will take a moment to do. And yes, in 31st place overall, it is still Pip Hammond leading in Class D by 5.3 seconds from the Adcocks. Although that gap will come down, of course, with the safety car having gone out now. See the medical car also heading out onto the circuit, and that will be to check the one or both of the drivers that have been involved in that incident. Interestingly
though, the safety car has picked up Ryan Parkin.
Yes.
The 3rd place driver. And so the BMW and the Civic of 1st and 2nd are now, well, they must be coming around to...
Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
There'll be a big wave through to do of most of the field, won't there?
Must be, yeah.
Yes, to make all of this work.
Just trying to look, where are they?
I think there's 38 cars on the track in the end. It's quite hard to pick up the leaders.
There we go. So the Civic and the BMW come around the complex now. So yeah, there's a lot of cars. This is going to take a while.
Well, they're going to need to wait for about 35 cars.
Yeah, basically
to make that work. The Jude XEG is in the pit. Now we did report that was possibly leaking fuel.
Yeah, because the pit window hasn't opened yet. So
no, so this is not a mandatory stop.
Engine bay is open. Look, so yeah, must be an issue with that Lotus. I mean, we know what it stands for. Lots of trouble, usually serious.
And the 172 car pulling off. Try and find an acronym for Renault there, if you can, Kieran.
Let's Google it.
That's Chris Heathcote in the Renault Clio 200. He's pulling off as well, possibly out of the race. So safety car is out. We have 31 minutes of this race left. The pit window opens normally in a minute's time. And I get the feeling the pit lane is going to be reasonably busy in a moment. There's no restriction on taking pit stops behind the safety car in this category as we have in other categories like the 116 Trophy, because otherwise the safety car's out for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So drivers are able to take their pit stop behind the safety car, and I suspect that many of them will.
Yes.
I guess if you one of those things that if you're quicker driving in first, are you going to sort of change them now, or would you take the chance of doing some more racing laps before you get to the end of the pit window? Looking at it, there are still 2 cars running. The medical car, I can see, is driven off now, so that's good news. So it is, I think, down to the recovery of the cars. I think the drivers must be in reasonable enough health for the medics to be satisfied. And so there's a few cars peeling in, but well, it is now. The pit window is open.
Yeah.
We are past 30 minutes.
It is a good question though. If your quicker driver is in now, do you stop them? And I think yes, you'd have to, because the amount of time, the penalty that you'd have for not stopping them is far greater than the time they'll be able to claw back.
Well, I'm also thinking, do you take a chance of there being more racing laps before you get to the end of the pit window, and people get some more benefit from them being in the car then? But it looks like probably most of the cars are indeed heading into the pit lane, but not all of them. Now, not all of them have drivers to change. There are a lot of single driver cars as well, and they can just sort of sit there quietly for 60 seconds, maybe have a quick swig of water or something like that.
I do wonder though, when the leaders came past the pit entry, I don't think it quite clicked over to 13 minutes yet.
Well, yeah, the Gadsby car is in. The Gadsby and Jones car, the race leading car, is in. So that is in now. We can see on our timing screen. So that is in the 117 car, but Bailey stayed there.
Yeah, but when the safety car came past the pit entry, I don't think it got actually into the pit window yet.
No, I don't think it had, but further back
it had, yes.
But so several drivers from 7th backwards, 2/3 of the drivers from 7th backwards. We saw the Sam McKee car there. He's driving solo today. He's got a novice driver in with him for the next event, and I think for 3 races during the course of this year. Sam still drives his car to the circuit. He doesn't actually own a trailer for this car. He always drives it to the circuit. It's a 1997 2.8 litre straight 6. That's now 215 brake horsepower, and it's gone from, as he puts it, standard road car to championship contender. Well, hold on a minute, Sam, come on. It's only the first round. You're third in class at the moment, behind Matt Creed and that Clio of Jez Panks and Daniel Perry. Both of those cars in the pit lane as he's taken. There's Andrew Cooper in his Type R trophy car, about to go back out into the race. He's on the Civic Type R, the lawyer from Bury St Edmunds. He's back out into the race. So I've got a feeling that most of the drivers who haven't already stopped will probably stop at the end of this as they come back round. So
yeah, I'd have thought so. Obviously, all these cars that you're now seeing on your screen are obviously just trying to catch back up to the pack now. The pack is currently coming through the complex onto the start finish race. So we're back to see. Safety car is coming past the pit entry. Let's see who peels in. So one parking is out, one parking is in. It's a lot of coming in. A lot coming in.
And I thought they were identical twins as well, but
they're identical cars as well.
But no, going different options on the pit stop strategy. But yeah, most of them are coming in here.
So yes,
including our Class D leader Pip Hammond. He's coming in to hand over to Alex Hall. Pip, the double stock catch champion. He's going to hand over to the accountant from Harrogate, who's done one Roadsports race before here at Croft, his preferred circuit. But did most of his racing in classic stock catch in a Fiesta. A lot of it. So that recovery is continuing, but let's head down to the pit lane now and see what Tom Butterworth is up to.
Okay, so we're just going to bring you the back end of the pit stop here for this Motion Motorsport number 19 TCR car. Now, the way the procedure works is they have to stop stationary for 1 minute. No tyre changes will be taking place today because it's a 45-minute race. We will see some in tomorrow's Club Enduro race that's significantly longer than this one. So there will be tyre changes in that one. Nothing going on in this one. It's literally the driver pulls in. There has been a driver change. No driver change in this one. My apologies. The Motion Motorsport guys have got some Honda Civics that came in on the previous lap's pit cycle. and they did do a driver change, this one keeping the same driver, but you stop still for 1 minute. It's not line to line 1 minute, as in pit entry to pit exit. It is a stationary 1 minute time. And then as soon as that 1 minute is up, they are pushed back when it is safe to do so. The pit lane is clear, so they don't get any unsafe reliefs, penalties or anything like that. And then driver straight back out again. And theoretically, you should exit in the same position. It doesn't always work like that. I think earlier on, just because of the pit positioning that they've got, the 421 Honda Civic was right down at the very end here, got the very last pit bay. I think they managed to gain 3 or 4 spots just because of their positioning in the pit lane. They were able to push it back and get it fired out quicker. So yeah, that's how it works down here in the pit lane, and we'll try and bring you as much action as we can as the race goes on.
Thanks, Tom. Ryan Parkin is one of the few drivers to have stayed out there, and I guess what will happen then is he will become the leader of the race because the others have not made their stops. And he's the one right behind the safety car now, so that kind of works, doesn't it? Unless he pulls in this time, it's probably... So we are waiting for the cars to move across the line, and again Ryan Parkin has not come through this time. And screech of tyres, I think, as some cars were braking for the pit lane beneath. This is Sammy Bowler in the 666 car has come in. You see one of the Mazda 2s is in as well. So the safety car does have what I think should be the leader behind it, although he's still not showing us the leader on the timing screen. There's the 77 car in the pit lane, one of the Civic Type R's, which is the Henry and Olivia Salisbury car. It's Henry that took the car first, and Olivia from London is getting into it for the second stint, I believe. So they were one of the lucky reserves to get into the race with some attrition amongst other drivers. But you've been down in the pit lane in these Roadsports races in the past, Kieran. It's almost quite a hectic scene, isn't it?
It is very, very hectic, and you do have to have eyes in the back of your head to make sure that you aren't getting collected by a car exiting or obviously entering the pit lane. You know, some of the teams can obviously get very, very hot on it and very just like shouting, "Get out of the way, get out of the way!" If they're not 100% sure that you've seen their car is leaving or coming in or whatever. It is very, very hectic. For those that haven't been in the pit lane when these kind of pit stops have been taking place, I can't really describe it or explain it to the fullest extent, but it is just, it is absolute chaos. It feels like it's organised chaos. Everybody has their own set thing. It's like how people describe driving in Rome or Paris. Like, there's a way and the system for it working, but to an outsider, you just can't see it. It just looks like chaos. But back to what you were saying about Parkin being the leader, don't forget the Civic and the BMW did an extra lap because the safety car didn't pick them up. So I wonder how they're going to work that out.
I'm very confused now.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true, isn't it? We'll see how this all pans out. So we've got, I think, pretty much the top 30 is now only Ryan Parkin, number 6, that did stop. Everyone else looked on the second page on the timing screen. I'll do that now. I think everyone else probably has stopped. This race, just having a look over I think the ones that haven't stopped are people who have already retired from the race. Yeah, there's the 2 of them in the gravel clubs. That haven't stopped.
They have stopped, just not in the pits.
Not in the pits, and not in the window. So yeah, safety car is coming back round. Let's go down though to Tom Butterworth, who's got another driver to talk to in the pit lane.
So we've just seen the driver change there for the Honda Civic, and that was Henry Salisbury that jumped out of the car. Henry, talk us through the race, how the race has been so far, and talk us through a little bit about the car and what it's like being with Motion Motorsport, because we are still down in this part of the pit lane.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Me and my sister are sharing the drive this year, sort of first time we've actually really raced, so it's our first weekend out basically. Yeah, great team, obviously just got the car set up really nicely. Shame about the yellow flag, but great time to change, so yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And how do you find it sharing with your sister as well then? It's keeping it in the family?
It's it's perfect. Dad used to do a little bit, so I think we've sort of got into it through that. And yeah, these sort of 45-minute race and then the Club Enduro tomorrow just gives us, you know, a great amount of time to both drive. So yeah, really nice.
Sibling rivalry, who's the quickest?
No, not at all. It's both just, you know, just hoping to keep the car in one piece and see how this first season goes, and then obviously push on a bit more.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. We'll throw it back to Ian and Kieran upstairs.
Thanks very much to Tom. Good to hear from Henry Salisbury there. What is he talking about? To find out who's quick when we analyse the lap times later. At the moment, though, Olivia's only got around the safety car, so she's at a distinct disadvantage. Ryan Parker did, so everyone has been in to serve their mandatory stop. I think still got one car to recover down there. It's taking a while for this.
The safety car though is letting people go past now as well.
Right.
So here's where we find out how they're going to work this out. So I'm guessing Civic staying in the lead.
Yes, and it's no, it's actually having come out from this. It's the BMW that's actually gone ahead in the pit stops. But that's now Martin Gansby driving that, who, as I said, is pretty not as quick a driver as is Ian Jones. So that's something to bear in mind as well. And there's also how many cars there will be between them. So we're looking for cars 117 and 236 are the ones that the safety car will be trying to pick up, which it hasn't done just yet. It's only got 4 cars linked away through, and then he's got them. Okay, and then between the 117 car, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cars, I think, between the two leaders. Sam McKee's got his left-hand indicator on, but the safety car hasn't yet waved those cars. Oh, yeah, I think it is now waving them past. As it tries to pick up the leader. And Alex Hall's got his left-hand indicator on as well. I thought they might be sort of deciding to take another pit stop. But what we know, while we've got time, safety car still out there, why not have one more pit stop?
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, they are continuing on their way. So 30 minutes is when the pit lane window open, 15 minutes is really close, that's just about 3 minutes away from now. The drivers picking up 5-second penalties for exceeding track limits. In fact, they've won, I think, so far. 4 those cars are now being waved through. So the last car that was waved through might be down, I think, number 76 Porsche Boxster S. Yeah, the Martin Gansby car takes up its position behind I think it's possible we might be able to go racing at the end of this lap, which would give us about 16 minutes of the race left to go. I'm not sure we'll have actually got the whole queue back together again. That's the input, so it might mean we get one more lap after this to try and get the queue, get one queue of cars rather than several at different points around the circuit. So I think the McGann's slowing up as much as he can now to try and allow that to happen.
Yeah, I think so. It's so complicated sometimes. Like you're trying to work out, okay, who's stopping there with the safety car obviously not picking up the effectively at that time. Just sometimes you had to lap a lot of cars.
So interesting in all of this, because of where the safety car initially came out, Scott Parkin is 15th, Ryan Parkin is 25th after all of this, and they were 3rd and 4th for the safety cars. They're not be best pleased, though.
No, they're definitely not going to be. I'm not 100% sure what's gone on there, but yeah, something obviously. Yeah.
That's what we used to say. Well, it's only a series race. It's not a championship, but it's a championship now. We'll be counting the points anyway.
Yeah.
Safety car's going to come through. Safety car lights are still on, so it's going to stay out there. And for each one more lap, I suspect one more lap. It's probably going to be about 30 to 40 minutes of race.
Interesting though, so Scott Parkin is right behind us. On the time screen, he is being shown
a lap down.
Yeah.
Yeah, effectively that's what's happening, I think. So it's somehow lost a lap down, which is far from ideal.
Yeah, it can get quite complicated the further into an endurance race you go, trying to work out who's in what position. Is it on track that is not always what it actually is. So what it seems is not what it is. It often is the case in endurance racing.
Worth pointing out who the class leaders are as well, and who's going well within their respective classes. Class A obviously being led by 117, which is the BMW of Jones. Class B is being led by the number 421 car now. That's the John Munday Honda Civic. Now, of course, that was being led previously by Mark Burton. He's now 7th in Class B and 16th overall. Class C is being led by Janetta of Jess Banks and Dan Perry. They've got ahead of Matt Quinn. But I think they were more or less stopped together, those three, didn't they? So they've all come out in the same order. So that's work for them, although Janetta did get ahead of Matt Quinn at the pit stops. And Class D is being led by Chris Fantan, although I think he had a penalty to serve for a pit stop infringement. But the Adcocks are second, and third down that class is the number 66, Adrian Johnson Mazda MX-5. So the Hall and Hammond car that was leading has dropped out of contention there, seemingly. All because of the idiosyncrasies of the safety car interruption.
And the lights are off. So we're about to go racing again, so it doesn't matter about all of that, that's in the past. What matters now is what's about to happen. So safety car pulls into the pits and the BMW leads the train around the final corner onto the start-finish straight. He still hasn't gunned it yet. There he goes, and we are racing. And interestingly, so Scott Parker goes right up alongside the Civic, but no, the Civic just pulls away once again. So Gatsby Jones, 117 BMW in the lead, 236 Bailey in the Civic right behind.
Yeah, of course, Parker was waiting to pass the green flag, past the timing line as well, to make an overtake legitimate, which it wouldn't have been until that point. But he's effectively a lap down, but he's going to be on a very similar pace and probably actually a bit quicker, if anything, now than the car ahead. And he's attacking to unlap himself is Scott Parkin, number 89, who's in 15th position. The leader, Martin Gadsby, then, number 117, turns his way through Tower Corner. You've got Parkin a lap down in second. He's going to try and unlap him, second on the road, going to try and unlap himself here.
I wonder if he knows he's on paper a lap down, because it doesn't look like he does know that. I think he's defending still. He's like, oh, Scott's, yeah, I'm racing Scott, I need to defend against him. But like, no, you don't, Scott's a lap, oh no, there you go.
Up the inside he goes, and they'll all be, or most of them probably have radios as well back to the team to let them know what the positions are and what's going on. That's the Mark Burton car. Now that's another of the cars that lost out really, going from first to 7th in Class B within the safety car intervention. So he's going to try and make up some ground. The 34 Lotus in there. That's the car that was advertised for Rob Bottom. There's a change of driver actually come the race, which I'll check about. That's the Brooks car, as it's shown on the timing screen now. That's making its way through, and yeah, it's all very chaotic, isn't it? It's car trying to find their rightful position in the order. Chaotic
is the right word. I mean, look at there's so many cars trying for one bit of track, and you don't know who's on the same lap as you, who's a lap ahead, and who's a lap behind. You just don't know. Even we, looking at this train, there's a clear in the grass. That's not ideal. We don't know who's on what lap, so we've just got to try and talk about, okay, yeah. So I have just seen Banks Perry, number 7 entry. They've just gone in second in class. That's the Genetics I'm just talking about. Right behind P in 26. Now that's it. Not sure why. Just might have been corner, but no, it's been overtaken. I'm not 100% sure. Never mind. But yeah, I just don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, there's your commentator, Kieran Moore, telling me he's got no idea what's going on. I'll pretend that I do. 44 car there, that's Alok Iyengar that's taken over that car, I think, from Ben Williams. There's some dust being kicked up on the exit of Tower Corner. Swan, I think, has gone wide there. black and orange mechanical warning flag going out to somebody. I think that's to the 34 car possibly. Yeah, that's the Elise, which is Ben Brooks driving that car. He's taken over from Rob Bott. I think possibly we need to chat about the roof might be trying to park the car on the Lotus from what I can gather.
It wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
No. The 19 there is Wayne Lawson. That's the car that we're having the little pit stop tour without. Now black flag going out as well. Which we will update you on. This black and white driving standards flags going out too, so there's all pillars of flags going out. But it is still the BMW leading, but by how much? Because it was down to 3/4 of a second at the start of this lap, and I think the lead has changed, I can see, out of the commentary box window, in that Morgan Bailey has taken the lead of the race now. He's got ahead of Martin Gadsby, and Morgan Bailey, number 236, has taken the lead of the race. Meanwhile, there is Sam McKee, and he now is in the lead of Class C, because he's got ahead of the Ginetta of Daniel Perry, number 7.
Yes, absolutely. This is, so lead changes all over the place at the moment. And, yes, I'm just waiting, obviously, for the leads to come across the line. So we can see the number 36 and number 7. So this is the battle leads for Class C.
And it's the three-way battle, because you've got in there as well the Mach 3 BMW. So it's a bit confusing what's going on elsewhere, but this is the clearest and cleanest battle of the race. It's Sam McKee. Well, he said he was a championship contender. I thought he was being cheeky, but he's trying to prove me wrong now. He's been listening to the commentary on the car radio, I think, as it's been going around.
If he's got confidence and backs it up, then fair enough. it's not cockiness if he's backing it up on track.
But Ginetta, though, which is a sort of car designed for the racetrack, taking it to the road legal car of Sam McKee. It's 9 minutes of this race to go. Bailey has now come through and is now 5.5 seconds clear of Jones. A 10-second penalty going out for somebody. Not quite sure who that is for just at the moment. No update on that as yet. So 8.5 minutes to go.
In the meantime, yeah, exactly what we're looking at. Sorry, Ian. He's just pulled a 5.3 second lead over the BMW in second place. So what you were saying, obviously, about Jones being the quicker driver at the time, I think that might have been the case. Yeah, 5.3 seconds now is the difference between the two leaders in Class A. So that is quite a large margin. So, and even Williams in third place, say it again in Class A, is 24 seconds behind. So,
the other thing to look at, is Class B, because there's only 3/4 of a second between those two. There is one of the cars involved, and right behind it is the other car that is involved. So that is the Ginetta now, which is now being driven by Chris Webster in the second half of this race, ahead of the 421 car of John Munday. So that is the battle for the Class B lead, the Ginetta and the Honda Civic just behind it. So that's the battle for position with 7.5 minutes of the race left to go.
100%, and they obviously get held on by this Class A number 10 BMW M2 right in front of them, which is not ideal. It means that the Civic there is just having a bit of a look at the inside of Ginetta, but for the time being, Ginetta just stays in front of it. Yeah, I mean, it's what, 4 and a bit tenths? What was the difference?
3/4 of a second at the start of the lap is now, 5 tenths.
5 tenths of a second, yeah. So they're right, obviously, nose to tail with each other, and this is a battle that's going to go on for the next. Oh, we've only got 7 minutes left of this race, so he's going to hurry on if he wants to get that place off the Ginetta to get that class lead.
Class D now is being led by the Adcock, I think Matthew Adcock, that's taken over from his father. Yes, it is, for the second half of the race in the BMW Compact, they're ahead of Chris Fantana and also the 66 Adrian Johnson Chief Mazda MX-5. Here is the Honda Civic chasing after the Cupra, which is the position that is 4. We'll pick that up in a minute. There, though, is the Class B lead back. It's still really tight, isn't it? It's Chris Webster against John Munday in the 421 Honda Civic. They've just got the Scirocco now ahead of him, of Ben Walkinshaw as well. That Scirocco actually has been put together from 2 Sciroccos, one which was a good chassis, one which had a good engine. And Chris Fantana on the inset from Class D is serving his pit stop penalty, but I think he wasn't pushed back into the pit lane as he should have been making his stop. Scirocco going off briefly to try and get out of the way of those two faster cars coming through. Ginetta and the Honda that are disputing Class B lead, and it's the Honda that's gone wide though as a result.
Yes, absolutely. He's just obviously on the outside, less grip out of there, a bit more marbles on the tyres obviously, and just ran out of road unfortunately. So not ideal passing traffic, and this is again what we're talking about at the start of the race. Passing the traffic is one of the big key differences between this and one of the sprint races, because you're having to confidently do this for 45 minutes, trying to wade your way through the traffic to a point that's not going to compromise your run. In the meantime though, this could be interesting. This is Ryan Parker, number 6. So where is he up to now? He's currently
He's 17th.
6th
in Class A.
So he's right behind 117. So effectively, this is what we were seeing at the start of the race. This is 2nd place and 17th place, but really they're kind of racing each other.
They are. And I think Ryan Parker will get through. He's the fastest driver of these two now. But he's a lap down, and that's the problem. And the car that's leading is still pulling away. It's like faster than the likes of Ryan Parker or indeed Scott Parker. 127 to 128, Morgan Bailey's had a very close call. There's a bit of contact there, I think, between a couple of cars as they came out of the final corner there.
Yeah, I have to say, the difference between Scott Parkin and Bailey, the current effective race leader, 236 the gap is not extending at all, so they've only got the seconds in between them. Obviously, I know that Parkin's a lap down. Here we can see on screen now. So there's Parkin, and there is Bailey right behind them as well. So a couple of seconds, that gap is not extending. It's not decreasing, but it's not really extending either. So, yeah, Parkin is obviously on the pace of the leaders. He's just unfortunately down in what place is he now? He's in. That's Ryan in 16th place. Scott's in 13th place now.
Yes, but also still not on the lead lap, crucially.
No.
Which is the problem that he has got. He's one of those that lost out.
Yes.
That safety car intervention. Mark Burton being another who was our Class B leader. Yes, our Class C lead battle. It is still Sam McKee that is at the head of it, and it's 8th place overall as well. Matt Creed 2nd, and then it's Daniel Perry 3rd. Number 7 car, so these 3 Class B cars right together, and now the Clio is alongside McKee, and it's going to be Creed. Is it for the lead of Class C into Tower Corner? No, not quite. It's McKee still ahead. He's going to try and hold up for 3 more minutes of this race, but the Clio, again a more pure race bred car possibly, is challenging, and it's side by side through the Jim Clark S's, and the slightly bigger Clio muscles its way past and knocks Sam McKee down 2nd place. So Creed's made up 2 positions there, but McKee's not having the end of that though, is he? He was challenging again into Sunny and try and get back if he can, but he also needs to keep number 7 car at bay as well.
I was just about to say, they are in a perfect position. Banks, Perry, number 7, Ginetta, literally waiting for these two to have a little mistake, have a little incident, and go, thank you very much, the lead of the class is mine. These 3 line astern for the lead of Class C. This is what we're going to see with the Porsche right behind them as well. 76, I believe it is. Yes. So these 3 are just line astern, and here comes the Ginetta. It's pulling out of the stream of the BMW down the start finish straight. They are now alongside, so this is for 2nd place of the class, and I believe he has just overtaken, yes, and the Porsche is also just getting past this Class C battle for the lead. The Ginetta is in the gravel, but just about holds on to 2nd place in front of the BMW. That was astonishing. So now, what he's going to do is going to stick on the back of that Porsche, let him carry it up to the Clio in the lead, and then just try and follow. But that Porsche is so fast, so much power, that's why it's simply different.
Minute and a half to go. Morgan Bailey has completed 24 laps of this race. Now well clear of the 117 car in 2nd place. 188, Joe Williams, that is in 3rd place. Number 8, our Class B leader, Chris Webster, is in 4th. John Monday 421 is in 5th position, and there is that car that is leading Class B. There's a bit more of a gap now, 3.5 seconds or so back to John Monday between these two for the Class B lead battle, and also not too far away from coming, again I don't think is the race leading car, and this time will be to start the 26th and final lap of the race. There's James Birch coming through in the Corsa, which keep an eye out for that Civic to come through, as Sam McKee is trying to get back ahead of the Ginetta, isn't he? But out of our window couldn't quite make it work. That's from one Ginetta to another. That's the Class B leading car on screen now, and there is the one that is fighting for second in Class C with the Audi TT coming up behind it as well.
Yeah, 100%, and that also means that Bailey in the 236 is not far behind. There we're going to see the back of your screen. That is the race leader going on to his final lap of the race. So this is the Class B lead at the moment. Yeah, B lead. C lead, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, so it just never stops, it never stops.
The Clio is now a bit more secure, I think, in the lead of that class, because McKee and Perry have been battling over second place within the class. They've now been picked off by Morgan Bailey as well. So Morgan Bailey, they've gone to their final lap as well. Bailey has passed them. And Bailey will probably, before the end of the lap, pass the class leader as well, I think.
I thought so, but there he is. There is Bailey coming through the Clark S's now. He's done everything he needs to do. Obviously, he took advantage of the safety car pit at the right time, and he's just had the pace. He got back past the 117 BMW for the overall lead, and he's just fighting his way through traffic. But he's got a 34-second gap now back to that BMW in second place. He's done everything he needs to do. As the BMW goes off, spins. Wow, that was okay.
That was Richard Phillips, the man from Plymouth, in the BMW 125i. Meanwhile, our race leader into the complex for the final time, 236 then. Morgan Bailey, he's been towards the front all the way through the drive from Grigg, turning his way out of the final corner now, sprinting towards the line. He goes past the Class C leader, Matt Creed, and the checkered flag goes out, and victory for Morgan Bailey in the first ever Jaguar Roadsports Championship race. He wins overall. Matt Creed wins his class. His Class B drivers still heading towards the checkered flag there as well, and Class D is yet to be completed as well. And it was McKee that got back ahead of Perry, so the BMW back ahead of the Ginetta for second place within Class C as well. But it looks like for Class B, it's going to be Chris Webster to bring it home relatively comfortably in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he hasn't had it all easy. He hasn't had it all his own way. He had to fight for it, but coming through the complex for the last time now, this Ginetta is very, very, very well prepared. It's a lovely looking car. It always stands out when you're on the track with it. And yeah, coming home fourth place overall with a Class B win as well. So we'll come on to start finish straight now. You can see it in the back of your screen. There it is, coming to take the checkered flag and a Class B win.
Yeah, so well done to two of them, Matthew Timosh and Chris Webster in the number 8 car. They win by just about 2 seconds in the end from John Monday within Class B. The Class D victory has gone the way of Matthew and Phil Ascot. They've come across the line in Class D, and they'll be able to be compact from Adrian Johnson in second and Chris Fantana in third within that class. Class A, by the way, Bailey the winner, Gatsby and Jones second, and Williams third. Third place in Class B was the Sam Dennis, Ethan Simmons Honda Civic Type R. A confusing race, a chaotic race. I think some drivers will feel a little unhappy with how things panned out, but I think certainly a worthy winner in Morgan Bailey. He was so fast in qualifying and very fast in the race as well, Kieran.
Yeah, 100%. He obviously he fully deserved it, but yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of people that may ask a few questions about exactly what happened to try and understand that health and safety car procedure. But at the end of the day, that's how it lined up.
Yeah, here are the results then. Morgan Bailey 236 taking the win at the end of 26 laps in the Honda Civic Type R, winning by 34.5 seconds in the end from 17 Ian Gadsby, passing Gadsby and Ian Jones. Third place went to number 188 Joe Williams. Fourth place in number 8 in winning Class B, Matthew Titmarsh and Chris Webster in the Ginetta G40. Fifth was number 421 John Monday. Sixth was number 1 Sam Dennis and Ethan Simmons, completing Class B podium ahead of number 40, which was the car of Chris Moore. Eighth in the end was the number 89 car, which was Scott Parkin in the Audi. Ninth, the number 76 Michael Downey in the Porsche. 10th and winning Class C 123 Matt Creed. 11th number 36 Seneca in Class C was Sam McKee, and 12th overall was number 7 third in Class C Jez Banks and Daniel Perry. Mark Burton, our early Class B leader, is 14th. If we head down the screens, we'll see in 25th and 26th positions the first two cars in Class D, Matthew and Phil Adcock and BMW Compact. They were a couple of laps down ahead of Adrian Johnson and the BMW. And on the next screen, we'll have the third place car in that class, which was Chris Fantana, who was in 29th place overall at the end of the opening round of the 2025 Skoda Roadsports Championship. And tomorrow, more endurance racing, because we've got the 150-minute race for the Tekiwa Club Enduro Championship. Some of the same cars will be out, but there'll be a lot of different ones as well. Let's head down to pit lane. Tom Butterworth is going to speak to our successful drivers from Roadsports.
Morgan, all action in the Tekiwa Roadsports 45-minute mini endurance race, I think is probably the best way to put it.
Yep. So, well, we got a good start. Managed to get Scott into turn one around the outside, and then I did glance in the left.